All right, welcome to another episode of Talkin Ball with Pat Leonard. We have a very special guest in the house today, Rich Big Daddy Salgado, Chief Executive of Coastal Advisors LLC, a titan in the insurance industry, in the sports industry, an agent to the stars, insurance advisor to more than 500 of the most prominent names in the worlds of sports, business, media, entertainment industry. It's BigDaddyInsures.com. He is the one and only Big Daddy Rich Salgado. Welcome to the program.
Hey, it's an honor and a pleasure to be on. You just did a hell of a sales job. I should hire you as my agent.
Well, if there's one thing I know about you, you are a people person. You do right by people. You connect people. And I'm grateful to have met you, to have made this connection through our friend Bert Wiggum, who runs the Draft Academy Performance Training and Recovery and Athlete Wellbeing Center down in Florida. And I'm really glad to now not only know you, but be a friend of you because you really are somebody who clearly wants to help. And that actually leads me into my first ad read, Big Daddy, because I want to thank you right here on the show for connecting me and Rich Funk over at Boom Chaga, because Talkin Ball with Pat Leonard is now sponsored and brought to you by Boom Chaga Mushroom Super Drink, a natural extract loaded with anti-inflammatory, immune-boosting, antioxidants, and heart-healthy compounds. You can easily pour this natural liquid supplement into any of your favorite drinks. I put mine in my coffee every morning and immediately feel the difference. I personally feel a post-workout like energy boost with Boom. Chaga also has the ability to lower cholesterol, reduce inflammation, and improve immune health and heart health with beta-glucans and antioxidants. Use the discount code TalkinBall25 or the QR code on your screen at boomchaga.com, and you'll get 25% off your first subscribe and save order. Right now, that means a month's supply costs you only $30. Feel the difference today at boomchaga.com. Also, BetOnline is your number one source for all your sports betting needs this season. Baseball, golf, soccer, right up to top fights in UFC, MMA, and boxing. Every stat, matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. When the game's over, head on over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker. Unwind with one of our 150 games in slots. Head to the website today to get on the action. Use the promo code BLEAV for your 50% free bet credit on your first deposit up to $250. Bet online. The game starts here. And where I want to start, Big Daddy, I mentioned thank you for connecting me and Rich. And you did that at the 6th annual Big Daddy Celebrity Golf Classic at Oheka Castle in Huntington, New York, the beautiful Cold Spring Country Club, an event that benefited St. Jude's. I just wanted you to tell us what came out of that, how much money was raised, how much of a difference that you've been making with this event in bringing people together for a great cause.
Well, it all starts, there's a foundation, right? So you start, I relate this to everything in business and life. First you do A, then you do B, then you do C, then you do D, and then you go the rest of the way. Obviously, Oheka Castle, one of the greatest venues that most people don't even know about. And, as I can imagine, when a first timer comes there and sees this place, they're like, whoa,
Yep.
And then you're so taken back. So that right there is just like a great way to kick off something, because not only, the golf outing, you have events there, you have weddings there, you have banquets there, you have everything. I mean, I believe Donald Trump is going to be there soon to have some function, and I'm sure there'll be a zoo. And as they say, the next president of the United States. So that's another story for another day.
That is.
But yeah, the venue itself is outstanding. Cold Spring Country Club, they redid it. It was beautifully done. The greens were great that day. Everyone was so happy with the incredible job that they did there. The gala, the food was outstanding. Everything that happened on Monday in regards to playing golf at Cold Spring, you couldn't have asked for anything better. The weather was incredible that day.
No doubt.
I mean, usually we've had bad luck with the weather on Mondays where it's raining or, lightning and whatnot. But I guess being a St. Jude event, the big guy upstairs blessed us and made sure everything went perfect. And, we did over $200,000
Wow.
with money raised, and so again, it's for a great cause. I'm a big fan of St. Jude, an ambassador. I've been down there several times, and the biggest thing that was great that made me feel really good was that I was able to bring back one of the patients, Tyler, who we flew him up. His family came up. He got his moment on the stage, and he told his story, and that that was priceless. I think that was the moment of the day.
No doubt. Yeah, that was a poignant moment. I was lucky enough actually to sit at a table with Tyler and his family. And, just really grateful to you for organizing an event like that, giving Tyler that platform, and continuing to bring awareness on raising money to help, pediatric cancer patients, children in need, patients in need, trying to fight and find cures for these diseases. If there's a lot of worthy causes out there, but if there is any cause in my mind that is as worthy as any, it is helping these people who need it. And as you heard from Tyler's story, what stuck with me, Big Daddy, was he's talking about all the things he's now experienced and been able to achieve and where he's going in life. And that was just one person's life impacted in a positive way. And that's life-changing. And so that's what struck me that night was, the money raised and efforts of yours there is that is one person's life, one story. And imagine the difference that is being made and that can be made when you continue to support a cause like this. So that's how it hit me.
Yeah, it's, for him and I, when I saw him last year for the first time in years, it's like, I hugged him and I felt like I was hugging my child. I don't have any children. So my whole big thing has always been that the children at St. Jude, those are my children now. And my goal and my job is to make sure that we, just like St. Jude says, we don't want any child to die from cancer. We have to do whatever it takes, make sure that their families are well taken care of. There's no bills. There's no worry about food, travel, nothing. That's what they do at St. Jude. And, bless them, and they bless their patients. They do the best that they can to make sure that no child dies. I mean, the rate now, it used to be when they first started, I believe it was like 10%, 15%. I forget what the exact number was. I mean, they're all the way up to like now 80 or 90% in saving lives. I mean, that's incredible. And why no one, or why wouldn't anybody want to jump on board to be a part of that? And our galvanizing is gone. It's past, but you could still go to www.stjude.org/Big Daddy Golf. You go there and you scroll down to the bottom, and there's all different levels. You can still make contributions. And I tell people all the time, whether it's $5, $10, $50, whatever, it all adds up.
No doubt. No doubt. So go make a difference. Go to that website on St. Jude today, donate on behalf of the Big Daddy Classic, and continue to make a difference along with us. So for our viewers and listeners, Big Daddy, not only a titan in the insurance industry connected to the worlds of sports and entertainment, but I feel like Rich is somebody who you should hear from, especially because we talk to, let's say on this program, other analysts, reporters, insiders, coaches, athletes, agents, but there are people like Big Daddy who are connected, interwoven into the fabric of this business and of the lives of all of the star athletes that you cheer for, the people whose jerseys that you are wearing. Somebody like Big Daddy is behind the scenes and just as significant and just as plugged in and just as has much of a story to tell as, let's say, the athlete that you're watching carrying the ball upfield or up court. And so I'm really grateful to be able to bring you on here to explain to people kind of the behind the scenes look at a little bit of what they don't know or don't see. And I wanted to start just by asking you simply, how did you get started? How did you start getting to the point where you built Coastal Advisors LLC and you ended up having a network of, stars like Michael Strahan, Reggie Bush, Adam Schefter, et cetera? How did you start and get there?
Well, it was funny. A mutual a classmate of mine from high school, he got in the insurance business first, and he did it for about 2 to 3 years. And he had said to me, he goes, "Hey, you need to come work with me." He goes, here's another story within the story, but what happened was the timing was impeccable. It's well documented, and I don't even know if you know this, Pat. You'd have to look it up. I was living in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I was living in New Jersey, actually. And I was taking care of Neil O'Donnell's father, who had suffered a stroke. And I basically became his live-in. I did everything for him. Yeah. And, while I was doing all that, this is when my friend said to me, he goes, "Hey, I know you're not going to be there forever. What are you going to do for work?" And he convinced me to get into the insurance business. And it's kind of funny. I got into it. Here I am ready to go. And all of a sudden, my friend quits the business. So now consider, let's say I'm standing in MetLife Stadium on the 50-yard line. Nobody's there, just me by myself. That's what it felt like when I went to work. I'm like, where do I go? Who am I going to see? I'm like, yeah. Oh, man, it was just like a Mike Tyson hit to the head,
Disorienting.
So, yeah. So, you know what? I had a network built from high school, being around athletes, and obviously I played at Maryland, and some of those people that I always say that you met at the bottom, all of a sudden started working their way to the top. And the guy that was the janitor now is the vice president. The guy that was the equipment manager was running a team, was working at the NFL, and so on and so on. So I had the network in place. I just had to do something with it. And insurance was that thing, because it's not a popular conversation. Obviously, we all know that. When you got 20-year-olds and 21-year-olds, the last thing they're worried about is getting injured or being or dying right now these days.
Right.
And I looked at it as an opportunity. Okay, here we go. I'm going to have to hit the road, and I'm going to have to share with people what I do, who I am, and why I'm doing what I'm doing. And I think that's where a lot of people make a mistake, that they want to know how I get all this. How do I, what? Because I put myself out there in front of people and let them know. I let people know, hey, you know what? You know me as Big Daddy, but look, this is what I do for a living. A lot of people used to get me confused. They would think I was an agent. Oh, I was Strahan's bodyguard. 1 year at the Kentucky Derby, some guy offered to hire me when I was with him. And I was like, I go,
you're like, well, how much are you going to pay me for it?
Yeah, that's what I said. I go, how's the pay? He goes, the pay's good. But anyway, I was like, no. And I've been, classified in so many different ways. But at the end of the day, I am an insurance consultant. And I don't do this alone either. I have a business partner, and I'm going to put him on the spot because he's here with me.
All right.
Chris, come over and say hi to Pat. So, but Chris, we always joke around because we always say that, I'll turn this way so you can get him here. Oh, he's going to get his chair right here. So gotta give him some love too.
We're impromptu. I love it.
So Pat, say hi to Chris. Chris, say hi to Pat.
What's up, Pat? How you doing?
Chris, how's it going? Good to see you. Slide over a little to your left. Just a tad.
All right.
Yeah. No, great to see you, Chris.
I think I'm in my room, so I got to kind of do that. But
how long has Chris been on board? Chris, how long have you worked with Rich?
We're going on close to 15 years, I believe. Now.
Yeah,
about 15 years. Yeah.
So what? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, buddy.
So you know what, Pat? This is what I always tell people. I go out and get the business, and Chris manages the business.
So
okay. I don't take full credit for building something that that everyone sees on TV or whatever on your show or wherever they read. This is not a one-man operation. This is a team, and we look at everything we do a checklist, and what we do is we help our clients save money and get the right protection.
What do you think is the key? This could be for either of you, because you're dealing with so many high-profile clients. What is the key to having people in the spotlight who, want to retain their privacy, right? It's hard sometimes to be trusted, right? To earn these people's trust and to keep it. And what do you think is the key to kind of forming and retaining relationships at the level that you're working at with the types of people you're working with, whether it's athletes or, entertainment stars or the like?
Well, it's pretty simple. I think first off, I think people from on the outside looking in at the relationship that Rich and I have know that we have a very professional partnership. Rich has been in the spotlight for 30 plus years. I'm always in the shadows. Obviously, like even at the golf event, I'm the guy on the day-to-day grind that runs the business, runs the numbers, almost like a fiduciary responsibility. Everything is private, almost like medical, where anything that comes through is extremely kept in close quarters. So I think people have looked at my relationship with Rich over the years and said, okay, they've got a fantastic partnership. Rich is out there shaking hands, kissing babies, doing what he's done forever. Chris is the guy who's in the office all the time. And I think from doing a really good job for people over the course of time, it's just when people ask for referrals or people ask an opinion of us, I think people always say, these guys really went above and beyond. And it wasn't a matter of, look, Pat, it doesn't matter what industry you're in. Most advisors, most insurance guys, most people you meet in life that are in, a personal practice, they talk about their success, how successful they are, how much money they've made, how many clients. What Rich and I really focus on is what we've done for the actual client. When I meet with people, I talk about live case studies. Obviously, I'm not disclosing names or anything of that nature, but I'll talk about, specifics of what we were able to do for a certain client under a certain scenario. Right. And then what we do is I really go out there and I kind of figure out for these players, these high profile people, what is in their best interest. You got to remember, in the sports world, these folks have a very small window of income potential and earnings, except for the super high level players, that make $1 zillion and they're set for life. Most of these players, they make money 4, 5, 6 years max, and they have to really figure out how do we manage that forever. So Rich and I try to put insurance plans in place that are going to make sure that whether it's while they're on the field or post-retirement, that they're always going to be covered. We're huge living benefits guys. It's all about living and making sure that everybody has benefits in place. And, and to answer your question, like fully, I think that's what penetrates most circles is just our level of professionalism and the detail that we drill down to and the coverage that we provide.
Oh, fascinating. You guys are doing great work. And so Big Daddy, when you were building it, at first, how much of it had to be face-to-face? Like, were you driving, when you were getting this starting to city, pressing the flesh, because it strikes me as a business where, like Chris said, people do identify with your intentions and your ability to focus on these living benefits, but also it almost feels like a business where people need to see you directly and not always be on the phone to really kind of connect. Would that be accurate?
100%. You want to laugh. I knew I was having a problem when I knew my Amex number and my Delta number by heart. Like I didn't have to look either one up because I was going everywhere. Senior Bowl, Super Bowl, Pro Bowl, Combine, college games in between. And then, obviously college will get sophisticated and then they start having Thursday night games, right, and Friday night games. And then, NFL started doing it. So for the first 20 years of this business, I was everywhere and anywhere. It would be like, where's Waldo?
Is this like the John Madden bus, right? Like,
yeah, I didn't have the cruiser, but I did spend a lot of time flying. I didn't do much driving because everywhere I went to was, somewhere in a different state. Yeah. But yeah, it was a lot of face-to-face. It was a lot of, getting in front of all the agents. Like when I first went to the Senior Bowl, this was 26 years ago, I was like the only insurance guy. There was the agents, you had a handful of financial people. And then as the years went on, you had tailors, you had jewelers, you had barbers, you had every profession that was there to try to rope a kid in.
Yeah.
They were all there. And it was funny, as that all started coming in, I started going out because of scheduling, obviously, with when the Super Bowl changed to the Pro Bowl going before the Super Bowl, instead of the other way where it used to be. I was just trying to get to too many. It was just too hard to be at too many places. So I started to all the agents know who I am pretty much.
Definitely.
And, they call you and, they request meetings and we have, agents as clients as well. So in all four sports, it helps to have that in place as well. So that eliminates a lot of travel.
So this was not a question I was planning on asking, but as you were talking about, especially, being at events like the Senior Bowl, I realized that the NIL landscape in college, the more people I talk to, and primarily I'm covering the NFL and the Giants every day, but this consistently people are telling me in conversations about other things, like you need to look closer at what's happening in college right now. It's the biggest story in sports. The finances are changing. There's not a ton of guardrails. So I'm just wondering, it's kind of a really broad, open-ended question. You could take it wherever direction you want. But I'm just wondering how you guys have seen the climate change and maybe how you're factoring in to that climate. Is there more opportunity there to have those conversations at that level? Is a little bit of the Wild West kind of feel to the way college is operating now. Just curious your viewpoint of that NIL landscape and then how it impacts your business there.
Well, with the college kids, you're talking about career-ending disability insurance. So now you have three scenarios when it comes to that, and it's funny. Last week, I spoke to a group of 30 parents at a particular school, and they had all these questions lined up. And, obviously I answered them one at a time. But that's a big component now because, like I said, insurance comes three ways at the collegiate level. You can go and get it through the NCAA. The school can provide it for you and pay the premium for you. Or you have these guys that are getting these NIL deals. Now they can pay for it themselves. But the problem with the NIL money is not every player's getting it. The top guys are getting it. And the same thing with the insurance. You go to a college team and there's 100 guys on a team, for instance, when camp opens up.
Yeah.
Not out of those 100, maybe 10 will qualify for insurance. So, that's where it's like a whole gauntlet of different avenues and which way to go and how to go. And I'll tell you this, what a lot of people don't realize, and this will be something for you to take a note of, at the college level, when you have the school pay the premium for you and you collect on that benefit, you're taxed on that benefit. Where the other two guys, the NIL guy or the NCAA guy, they're not. And the reason why that is because if I insure Pat Leonard for $1 million and Pat Leonard gets hurt, Pat Leonard gets half the benefit. But I wrote the check.
Got it.
So that's it's a little bit of an accounting.
It all comes down to education too. Who's mature enough to actually listen to people that have been around, that have done it. People that seek advice always end up in a good position. Even at a young level, we try to teach them nothing is about instant gratification. It's about long-term, making sure that you are structured properly, even from an insurance perspective on securing yourself in college. Think it through. And Rich knows my favorite line is I tell people, let's meet for a cup of coffee. I don't want to go to dinner with you. I don't want to go for drinks with you. I want to sit down and have a structured conversation. If you can invest 20 to 30 minutes to really get our knowledge about how to structure things properly for your future to make sure that you're secure, then no one's ever, it's going to go in one ear out the other, so that's one of the things it's about education. And that's what we try to do. We try to educate the player. We try to educate the parents, family members, whoever will listen. We try to give them the best advice possible. And Rich and I are independent, so we don't work for any specific company that we have to, come out with the pom-poms. It's, we don't have any financial backing from a specific carrier or company that, that's all we tout. And that's one of the things that work well for us as well, is that we have the ability to really seek out the best design and best product for each person that we sit with, because everyone comes from different cultures, different backgrounds, different financial situations. Some people are going to have families at a young age, some are not. So it's all about responsibilities. And that's where Rich and I come in. And, the ones that are smart enough to allow us to educate them, it's like an investment into their future. And it works well.
Really interesting conversation. Coastal Advisors LLC, everybody. Want to tell our listeners and viewers about Boom Chaga again, and then we are going to get into some fun Super Bowl and Giant stories. I know you have some of those, Big Daddy.
I got a few of those, yeah.
Talkin Ball with Pat Leonard is brought to you by the Boom Chaga Mushroom Super Drink right here over my shoulder, a natural extract loaded with anti-inflammatory, immune-boosting, antioxidants, and heart-healthy compounds. You can easily pour this natural liquid supplement into any of your favorite drinks. I put mine in my coffee every morning and immediately feel the difference. I personally have felt a post-workout-like energy boost. Chaga also has the ability to lower cholesterol, reduce inflammation, and improve immune and heart health with its beta-glucans and antioxidants. Go to boomchaga.com today to place your first order. And if you use the discount code TalkinBall25 or access it through the QR code on your screen, you will get 25% off your first subscribe and save order. Right now, that means a month's supply will cost you only $30. Start feeling the difference today at boomchaga.com. Thanks to Chris for joining us there. Thanks for bringing him on, Rich. I want to get the listeners behind the scenes now of some of their favorite Super Bowl teams, Super Bowl 42 and 46, Giants fans who are listening. You actually played a significant role at that time in some of the development of those teams and maybe even the superstition of how it was going to work out. Could you share that with the listeners, please?
Yes. I, due to my relationship, obviously, with the Giants and in 2006, Michael Strahan and I had introduced him to a pizzeria in Long Island, which is called Umberto's of New Hyde Park. And one day I was joking around. I said, "Hey, I'll bring it to practice one day, so you have it and you can take it home." He goes, "Yeah, bring it." So I brought a couple pies over and I started bringing it to the equipment room. And it was a hit. I mean, guys started eating it, and all of a sudden, one pie led to 3 pies to 15 pies, and I was trekking from Long Island every Friday to MetLife, the stadium, but before they had the new facility, and so then we go through the 2007 season, and obviously I went to every game except for the one game that I missed was the game in London. And I believe I had to go to a wedding. But after that, I went the whole ride. I mean, like every game, I went to the Green Bay game and the cold ass game and, all that. And
right, where Tom Coughlin looks like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Yeah. I have to say I was a little spoiled because I used to sit with Steve Tisch.
So there you go.
I didn't get cold or any of that, but
hey, you can't say no to Sweet Life, right?
No, you get spoiled too when you do that every game. And no matter where we were at, I had the good luxury either sitting there or a lot of times I used to like to go to the press box because you know the guys and you want to say hi to them. And again, that's a whole part of my whole networking process. When you get to the media people so they know who you are and you share with them what you're doing there. And, that I became very good friends with Jim Trotter. Yep. And Jim Trotter's a client of ours. And, Adam Schefter, Jay Glazer, Kevin Weeks, all media people, insiders. And that's how I built the business. But getting back to the '07 Super Bowl, that was the greatest, one of the greatest things that I ever was able to experience, because after they won, I was on the field, so I was down on the field and guys are running around, everybody's overjoyed, everyone's getting Super Bowl hats and all this fun stuff. But I'll tell you a funny story before the game. Me and John Mara used to have a tradition, and it wasn't like we made it up. We would always shake hands before the game on the field, and hey, good luck and go get them, and all that stuff. Well, that day I was not on the field, but I was in the owner's area before the game. So Mr. Mara comes running over. He sees me. I'm like, oh, hey, Mr. He goes, oh, my God. He goes, I didn't think I was going to see you, because we literally every game did this. Shook hands and hugged and whatever. So now after the game, they win. And, I see John Mara. And I said, Mr. Mara, congratulations. And he's like, and he had never really called me Big Daddy. He was going to be rich. So that day he said to me after the game, he goes, Big Daddy, you're unbelievable. And that was it. And I was like, just to hear that, I had a big smile on my face and whatnot. And, that was a lot of fun. And it got me really to become friends with so many people, especially there. And I started doing business there. I was insuring guys on that D line. I had all four guys that I was insuring.
One of the most revered D lines of all time.
Yeah. So, and then, in '08, I really thought they were going to win back-to-back, with that team. And I guess it was an omen. That year I had an aneurysm. So I missed, believe it or not, I missed 2 games. And I never forget, I showed up one day at the stadium, and it's about October, so it's still warm out and whatnot. Mm-hmm. I'm wearing a ski hat, and everyone's looking at me, and people like, Big Daddy, what are you doing here? Didn't you just have this major operation or whatnot? And I'm like, yeah, but I watched them play that year, the Cleveland Browns, from my hospital bed. It was a Monday night game, and I was watching it from bed. Wow. And then I flew to Pittsburgh. They played the Steelers that year. And I flew to Pittsburgh, and everyone was in shock that I was there, even myself, because even after the game, it took me a good hour to walk back to the hotel, when the hotels are right there, but I just didn't have the energy. I mean, I was still fried.
But that's how connected you were to Big Blue.
Yeah, I mean, I bled blue. So then now we get back to 2000, we go to 2011. We're doing the pizza thing every Friday, as always. And depending if it was a Sunday night game or Monday night, we always worked around the schedule. So I think it was Chris Snee and Dave Deal who told Umberto's son and I, we have to get the pizza to Indianapolis. We can't miss a Friday. And I'm scratching my head going, this one, how are we going to pull this one off? Well, we pulled it off. I got to Indianapolis early in the week, and Dino Gatto, the chef from Rayo's, and Umberto's son, Gaetano, they brought the pizza on Friday from New York to Indianapolis. And everyone knew it was coming, because when I met them at the airport in Indianapolis, you would have thought the president was coming off the plane. Because media, all these people, I'm laughing. I'm going, oh my God. But, and then the funniest thing was, I told Steve Tisch that we were doing this, and he's like, yeah, just call me when you get here. We pull right up to practice. All security and everyone's there, and they were waiting for us. They knew. So we walk in, we go right into practice. And then I remember Mr. Mara saying to me, Big Daddy, you are crazy. And I said, I'm superstitious. So we've done okay this route. So obviously we did that on that Friday. Guys were like, it was funny. Guys were running off the practice field. They just, once they saw me, I'm not supposed to be in there, but they all knew I was coming with the goods.
Yeah.
So, well, everyone got their Friday taste, and then they went on and win another one.
So wait, are you telling me that all this time we thought maybe they had to do a better job drafting players, adding personnel, how they're coaching the team, whatever? It sounds like you're telling me the missing ingredient right now to get the Giants back on track is Big Daddy and the Friday pizza. Like that's what we need to get back to here in 2024.
If that's what it took, I would do it willingly, and I would expedite it. I've been asked a few times, believe it or not, and you never know. We'll see what happens.
As long as you drop a couple pies on the media, I mean, I think
I always, you want to laugh. I started doing that Fridays. Obviously, you guys are there and you're in the locker room and whatnot, and it was kind of funny. But the local guys weren't really the big takers. It was always the guys that were out of towners. So you had the guys from NFL Network. You had the guys from ESPN.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Guys that didn't always have access to it. We always made sure that, I always tried to give 2 or 3 slices to guys. And then we did actually do it where we replaced whoever they were using, because one of the guys brought this into me and goes, Big Daddy, look what they feed us. And I'm like, as long as I get in trouble by doing it, I got you.
That's a good representative for the media there, kind of sneakily getting over to you and saying like, hey, could you help us out here? Right. That's how we work. That's how we work.
It's funny stories that you say that people don't know. And, God bless Miss Coughlin. I saw her in Jacksonville after they left and they went down there. And she said to me, Big Daddy, the one thing that I miss about New Jersey is you and pizza on Fridays. And I was kind of scratching my head. It took me a minute to think about it. But Chris Snee being one of my guys and an offensive lineman, because after Strahan left, the old line kind of took over that whole pizza thing.
Okay.
Chris would always take home 2 pies after practice home. So no dinner. There's dinner, pizza. And Eli Manning, I gave him 2 Italian heroes every Friday that he would take home.
Beautiful.
So they so I was Big Daddy the insurance guy and Big Daddy the pizza delivery guy.
Hey, Joe Schoen, Brian Daboll, John Mara, Steve Tisch, and even Chris Snee now, you're back in the building on the staff. If you're listening, if you're watching, let's get it going again. It's got to start week 1 for the Minnesota Vikings home opener, Big Daddy Pizza Fridays. I'm saying this selfishly from a media perspective too. I have to ask you this because this is like the 100th anniversary season. There's a lot going on there with the Giants.
Yep.
You mentioned that first Super Bowl, in 07, the Super Bowl 42. I have to know, like, did you know that Tyree caught it? Did you think that Tyree caught it? Like, what was that moment and just all of that like? Like, I can envision people being on the field after the game like you were, even after the Giants won, thinking, how the heck did this happen, right?
Yeah, I had the same feeling. I'm like, man, this guy – I was taking like triple takes. You had to watch it, because they kept putting it on the screen and whatnot. And you're like, wow, how to, all right, we're a miracle. Great. We got it, and then afterwards you're so, I guess, inundated with so many people being so overjoyed and happy. And it's such a great moment. And here's the one thing that, now we'll flip the other side of the coin. On the other side, one of my close friends is Tom Brady. So, so both times that was like I did see him in Arizona. I didn't stick around in Indianapolis, but I did see, and that's the game. You got one team has to win, one has to lose, and Tom and I formed a friendship relationship right when he was coming out of Michigan. And he's done a great job in everything he's done, and I wish him nothing but the best now in his new media career. And that should be interesting because he's so well groomed for anything he does because he's so well prepared. He studies hard, and it should be interesting. He'll do a great job. He's a good man too.
I'm looking forward to that. Speaking of media careers, I was wondering, since you've known Strahan for so long, did you think back then, did you ever envision him becoming this like media conglomerate superstar that he's become? I think everybody knew that at that time that he had a personality and of course, was a big time leader and big time player. But just wondering from somebody who knew him closely, did you envision his star rising like this after football?
Actually, a lot of people don't even realize this, but remember, he was doing Best Damn Sports Show while he was playing. He was doing it. So he was already like gearing for it. Like he was primed for it. I think, he needed a little push and, without naming people and whatnot, but, and that push got him going in the direction where he's at now. And and my whole thing is obviously I would be a little bit biased, but he's a hard worker and he loves success. He loves achievement. And that's what he's doing now. He's enjoying success. He's achieving. And he's probably going to have some other opportunities down the line if he wants them. It'd be interesting to see. I don't foresee him being doing 40 years of Good Morning America, but you never know. I mean, maybe he'll have his own show one day. He's so well versed in and out of the business. He owns his own production company, his own representation company, and he does a bunch of other things. And, him and I also have a business together. Got
it.
So he's one of those guys that doesn't know how to sit still, and he will succeed and continue to succeed. And that's repetitive, but success is him. Obviously he just went through a very trying time with his daughter and all that.
Right.
Bless, she's okay. And, on the way to the mending process. And that took a lot of energy, from him and whatnot. But when I look at him, the word success is like his brand.
Wow. No, that's really impressive. Thank you for that. That's really good context. Switching gears real quick to this year's or the current Giants regime. I know Joe Schoen pretty well, the general manager of the Giants now, former Buffalo assistant GM. Just wondering, I know Joe a little bit, but from somebody who's known him longer than I have, and to tell the Giants and NFL fans out there, who is the general manager, but also the person that's at the helm of the Giants organization right now.
Well, listen, Joe, want to laugh, getting back to real quick, just to hit back on the one thing that we spoke about.
Yeah.
I know Brian Daboll from his days at the Jets.
Oh, you're going way back. Yeah.
Way back. And he's a big Umberto's fan. He'll say right now, Big Daddy, don't bring that around. I'm on a diet.
I was just going to say, have you seen him lately? Like, I don't think he's eating Umberto's right now.
No, he's not. He's down, and that's great. He loves buffalo pizza. But anyway, listen, what I think Joe's doing a great job, and that's my opinion. You obviously, some people like ketchup, other people like mustard and whatnot. You always have differences. But, people have to understand that you're only given so much money to operate a team. Okay. And then sometimes you have to make decisions that some people may not like or feel that they're warranted. But I think, he's a successful guy and he's done well. And I don't see why anyone would blame him. for anything. I think he's done a great job. And again, you only have so much room, cap space to do what you need to do to put a team together.
Right.
So I think that's what I feel about Joe.
Yeah, no, and he's really, he's running the Giants at a critical juncture for the franchise, but also there's opportunity, right? Anytime, it's not going to be easy, but when a franchise like the Giants, a proud franchise with 4 Super Bowls, 2 of which you were very close to there and obviously an integral part of, and, they're trying to get back to those ways, but maybe you have to get there a little differently. Maybe you have to think a little bit differently about how you allocate your resources. And so, watching the Hard Knocks, watching the behind the scenes footage of how they're trying to do that, and watching the process of that, regardless of what the record is right now, it's just a fascinating time in the franchise's history because they're trying to pivot and we'll see how they do. There's opportunity there in front of them for this season. Looking forward to that. Wanted to ask you real quick too. I know you have clients in all these different leagues, all these different professional sports, but I remembered you telling me on the heels of the Florida Panthers winning the Stanley Cup that Sergei Bobrovsky, the Bob, was one of your clients. I was wondering if you've gotten to drink from the Stanley Cup yet.
Not yet. I've had the good fortune of doing it several times. I've even done it in Alaska.
Oh man,
I did it with Scott Gomez twice in Alaska.
What was that? What was that like?
Well, the first time I learned the hard way that the sun doesn't come down in Anchorage or in Alaska, because we were partying like rock stars, and I'll never forget. 2 days in, I hadn't gone to sleep. I was up the whole time. And I'm saying to myself, finally, I started seeing people like start to fall down and pass out from exhaustion.
They're like, I'm just going to make it nighttime since it's never nighttime.
And I'll never forget. I'm like, oh my God, I got to go to sleep. So I go to the room I'm in, and I literally put a towel over my eyes to make it dark. And I finally passed out. So, Bob's did a great job of winning the cup, and so happy for him. And he's I thought he was going to get win the goalie of the year, but he didn't. But the cup makes up for that. Yep. He's already won that already, so the Stanley Cup makes up for that.
Right.
Way more. And it's hockey's a great game, and I enjoy it, and the guys are great to work with, and it adds for a mix during football season because you get both.
No, you're not kidding. That's fantastic. You definitely have a book here. You have a fascinating book because of all of your stories, your connections, your experiences. But like
I've been asked already twice.
Oh, you could absolutely write one tomorrow and it would sell. I'm glad you were able to have the time to come on here and share it with our viewers and listeners, and look forward to seeing you hopefully soon in New Jersey. If you don't have pizza boxes in your hand, I will still be happy to see you. But
I will.
If you have food, hey, whatever.
I'll make sure I fill you in on when I'm coming, and I will bring. Let me ask you this: what do you know what Grandma Pizza is?
Oh yes, I do, for sure.
Okay, the Umberto invented it. He's the creator. Yeah.
So that has to be the first slice that I try then.
Yes, I will bring you your own Pat Leonard Grandma Pie, and then you can grade it for me.
I love it. He is Rich Big Daddy Salgado, Coastal Advisors LLC Chief Executive Agent to the Stars. Just a quick reminder to all our viewers and listeners, Talkin Ball Pat Leonard is brought to you by Boom Chaga Mushroom Super Drink, natural extract loaded with anti-inflammatory, immune-boosting antioxidants and heart-healthy compounds. Pour the natural liquid supplement into your favorite drink and immediately feel the difference. Chaga has the ability to lower cholesterol, reduce inflammation, and improve immune health and heart health with beta-glucans and antioxidants. Use the promo code TalkinBall25 or the QR code on your screen to get 25% off your first subscribe and save order. That means a month of supply right now only costs $30. Start feeling the difference today at boomchaga.com. Rich, Big Daddy, been a pleasure. Thank you so much for all your stories and all your time. We'll look forward to talking to you soon.
Thank you, Pat. I appreciate it. Have a great day, and I'll see you soon.